Hello. Thank you for the follow, Roman. Just happened before I started streaming, but appreciate it nonetheless. Right. Now, let me just get everything while we wait for a few more people to arrive. I'll turn on the music as well. Let me just get my laptop. Okay. Now I can watch. Now I've got chat. I can keep an eye on the stream. Everything seems to be going all right. Hunky dory. Okay, so do we have the overlay? No, we don't. Do we? Why don't we have the overlay? The overlay is under the game. Do I do that? Okay, does that work? There we go. Okay, so we got Marmy versus Gentleman as our first game. And then we'll move on to Trumpet versus Meek, which I think is a beginner. Might be intermediate. But Trumpet just started, so I'd assume beginner. Okay. So, Marmy versus Gent. Marmu did beat me, so I'd expect Gentleman to win. I kind of threw against him. And I've yet to play my games against Gentleman. But we'll see. Maybe Marmy can make a surprise happen. Okay, so we got Lizard, Falcon, Owl, Wire Balloon, Artie from Gentleman against Lizard, Mole, Falcon, Cam, Boar, Mine from Marmu. The mines are interesting from Marmu. Lizard Mole is a strange combination as well. You don't see that much because both units are melee, but you can't really lump them together because the moles just get completely outpaced by the lizards. Gentleman running triple defense. I don't know if that's something Gentleman usually does. I haven't played him in so long. Meek intermediate. Okay. Thought Meek would be. Guess Trumpet must have just really power leveled. Okay, so what we got? We know what we've got. What's Marmy doing? He's going to put a mole down? He is. I can't imagine Gent falls for this. He's got the barbed wire. He's just going to stick some down. The Marmy has to retreat. So we're going to have Lizard v Lizard. In such a situation, I think the barbed wire is more beneficial. The mines are pretty underpowered at the moment. Especially if a Gentleman gets a scout off on them, which he did there. So he saw the cell, but he knows to be aware of mines. So who's going to move out of lizards first? Marmu trying to get some mines up. Gentleman going for an expansion. God, mines take so long to build. I believe it's 20 seconds for mines. Okay, that mine hit did go off. It should put this fight into Marmu's favour. He's got a very narrow corridor to get through. One piece of barbed wire could block that up, but it'll block it up for both. And now Marmu is just pushing through. He's got a farm. Really could have focused down there. He could have got one, at least, of those pigs. Probably both, if he just focus fired. So, big mistake by Marmu there, because that would have almost sealed the game for him. If he'd managed to get 3 pigs there off that fight, would have been huge. Okay, so Gentleman is barbed wired up. The barbed wire will slow down his own units as well. So he's giving Marmu map control, essentially. And Marmu is using this to bore up. Gentleman hasn't scouted it. Marmu picks off the barbed wire in this one corridor, just face tanks it. He's just keeping Gentleman on his toes. Gentleman is trying to eco up. And that's exactly what Marmu wants him to do right now. If Gentleman just turtles up, doesn't get any tier 2, just tries to get out eco, then this boar's going to come out and give Gentleman a nasty surprise. The boar is already building. Gentleman's trying to scout it. He is going to get the scout off. If the lizards were just a bit further left, they probably would have killed him. But the boar's nearly done. Gentleman is going to have to force a base trade here. He knows it. He's taking a third. He wants to go over here and probably get this campfire. In the far corner, it's going to be very hard for Marmu to get that. So, now Marmu has to just be careful. Make sure he doesn't get caught out of position, because the boar can't keep up with the lizards. And 18 lizards will destroy even an 8 farm mill quite quickly. But Marmu has options. He can mine up. He doesn't really need to push out. He could just turtle and try and force an attack. Like this one. Oh, this is bad by Gentleman. Gentleman was trying to get up a good position here where he could start arty creeping from. But it doesn't go in his favour. He's trying to get out owls. He was floating a lot of food. No, he's going for more lizards. He's taking a bad fight here. He got caught in a corridor. He's completely surrounded. Gentleman gets his army obliterated there. I don't think Gentleman has enough now to do this. Plus Marmu has 2 extra mills to work with. Marmu should just leave his boar firing on this mill. It would probably be beneficial to him. But he doesn't really need to. It's pretty hard for Marmu to lose from this point. He's so far ahead. He's even ahead on eco. He's got the tempo advantage because all his units are already built. He's got more units total coming. The boar gives him a huge army advantage. Gentleman isn't surrendering when it's probably pretty reasonable. I give Gentleman a lot of shit for surrendering early, but I think this will be a perfectly reasonable surrender right now. And Marmu takes game 1. Okay, before I forget, I'm going to update the score. Marmu's managed to get on the board. Okay, changing up his loadout a lot. Squirrel Mole, Falcon, Skunk Cam Wolf. a lot more normal, a lot more meta. The triple defense tier 3 loadout he had is the type of thing that I would run. So, yeah. Gentleman has a lot of strength as a player, but I think one that he's got over a lot of people is that he's always been really good at mixing up his decks. He plays the meta just as well as he plays the weird shit. Mamu is, I think, keeping his deck the same. I can't remember if he had Falcon Chameleon. I know he had Lizard Mole, and I know he had the Boar Mine. I don't remember if he had Falcon Chameleon, but I assume he did. Gentleman is still trying to mole, and might actually get this farm. And he's forces a sell on 2 of them at least. And again, he's just delaying. But Mamu does have his lizards up. Gentleman needs to get something down. Otherwise he could get possibly counterattacked. 2 lizards come up and start running over here. It's a pretty short distance. They could pick off a pig. I think Gentleman will be fine though. The second lizard has only just got out, and 2 squirrels are about to come up. Now Mamu's the one who's on the defensive. This is actually a really bad place to defend. Gentleman gets on the high ground with squirrels. He has his moles to smash through the warrens. And Mamu's behind in army at the moment. This is going to be very hard for him to hold. Gentleman just getting more and more moles. Mamu needs to make sure his commander doesn't die. That's his only high ground vision. Okay, the lizards come in. They're actually doing alright. Doing better than I thought they would. And just Mass Lizard manages to take that, even at a deficit. And now Gentleman's on the retreat. He has no army up. He was kind of all in with that attack. He put down 3 mole warrens and he has to sell all of them. Now he's taking damage on his main base. He's lost a farm. He's losing 3 warrens. Gentleman surrenders, and Mamu goes up to a quick 2-0 lead. Oh, I forgot to take the skins off again. Oh well. You probably all know what the skins are by now. Mamu coming out swinging. No. Okay. Mamu still with his squirrel... Sorry, no squirrels. His lizard mole, falcon cam, boar, mine deck. Gentleman, squirrel, toad, mole, falcon, skunk cam. So, same deck, except he's taken out the wolf and added the toads. I think if you've been lizarded twice in a row, the toads are a pretty reasonable option. And Mamu doesn't have a great answer to them. Toads are good against lizards, moles, and pretty respectable against chameleons, especially in high numbers. So Mamu's really only got the falcons and the boar to deal with the toads. That could be tricky. Even if it does come to a tier 3 game for Mamu, Gentleman's got falcons, he's got chameleons, he's got some ways to deal with the boar. Oh, hello Onyx. Been a while. Okay, this time it's Mamu who goes for the mole. He's not going to get a farm, but he could get this warren. And Gentleman's forced to sell, which he really didn't want to do. Delays him a lot, but Mamu immediately sells his own warrens. So no one's going to lose anything there. Okay, so Gentlemen going for the tier 2, getting out chameleons pretty quick. But they're a decent lizard answer. Some fast chameleons. He's going to get away with it. He's also throwing in some toads. With defender's advantage, he'll be pretty easily able to hold. So Marmy's going to expand instead. Looking at the map, this is definitely better for Marmu. Against lizards, it's going to be very hard for Gentleman to hold this mill, because Marmu can come in this corridor and this corridor, and he's going to have an easy time running around the lizards. But he's coming in. Marmu's put down a lot of mines, but Gentleman isn't actually able to clear them. He takes a lot of damage, including losing most of his toads and his chameleon. Gentleman not respecting the mines. He cleared one and just assumed that would be it. But Marmu just gone. Is this a new mine strat? Do you just have to put down 10 of them? Marmu takes a very nice trade there while being ahead on economy. But Marmu's coming in again. We could get into a base race situation here. Gent's taking his own base. Marmu has enough. Gent's thinking about going back. He's got the expansion. He could definitely take his base. This base is going to get up. He is starving. He needs to commit now. He's left his toads here. He kind of wants to... I'm pretty sure he wants his moles. That's 2 toads gone on 1 lizard. That's not good for Gent. Marmu's just suiciding on, and Gent's army isn't present. I mean, Marmu just needs to delay. Gentleman has... If Marmu just went and destroyed these warrens, Gent wouldn't be able to sell anything for farm money. So I think Gentleman's gonna starve. I don't think Gentleman can win this anymore. I think he needed to commit to the base race. Gentleman's gone down to 3-0. This could be a real upset. If Marmu wins, it was going to be an upset. But if Marmu 4-0s the Gentleman, that's going to be big. I think Gent definitely could have won if he just... Well, first of all, if he hadn't walked into all the mines. Second of all, if he'd committed to the base race. With the toads and the moles both having structure crit, he would have won. But that classic French cowardice came in at the worst opportunity. Okay, so Gentleman's gone back to his original deck. The Lizard, Falcon, Owl, Wire, Balloon, Arty. This didn't work so well the first time, but Gentleman got off to a bad start by taking some bad early engagements. I think Barbed Wire is one of the best lizard counters out there right now. We'll also do some decent work against the moles. It won't do anything to the falcons or chameleons though, really. And against the boar and skunk, it actually could be more harmful than helpful, as it will slow down Gentleman's own units. But so far, Mamu hasn't used any of his tier 2. He's only been using tier 1 and boar. And now that Mamu has got his mine hits off, he's actually taken the mines out. He's put in skunks. Maybe he just doesn't think he's going to catch Gentleman with the same trick twice. Maybe he thinks he needs a skunks against the squirrel mold comp that Gentleman seemed to be going for. Yeah, someone's going to come in and assume that I just got the numbers the wrong way around, but nope, this is the actual score. I feel like it's unfair to Mamu, though, to treat this as... I mean, it is a big surprise, but it's a disservice to Mamu to say that to be utterly shocked that he wouldn't win anything. It's just surprising that he's beating Gentleman so utterly. Okay, so Gentleman has this cabin with the barbed wire is actually now a fairly useful defensive position. Mamu coming in with the lizards. Gentleman needs to respond quickly. He's going to lose a pig, but only the one. Mamu's going for a boar while under attack. That's ballsy. If Gentleman takes the fight here, the barbed wire should be giving him an advantage. But it looks like it's not. Mamu actually fights and wins. Mamu actually had the slight army advantage there. Now both players are on 16 farms. Gentleman needs to scout this boar. Okay. He gets a scout on the boar where he's got time to react. And this time he's got a greater lizard count. He's picking off quite a lot of Mamu's army. Mamu's boar is... The warren's built, but it's supply blocked. He sells down. Gets enough. Gentleman going for an RT balloon. I wonder if it would be better for Gentleman to just attack. He's going for a third base as well. I mean, Gentleman took some really good trades there, picking off all these lizards on the retreat. He probably could have jumped in onto the mill or onto the warrens. Now he's letting the boar get out. There's a risk that the boar carries Mamu to victory. A double arty cannon, but one balloon isn't going to be enough to stop the boar. Like, the boar's going to come in and just roast all of this. I mean, one arty is up. That's going to make... And the arty's actually got vision and range onto these lizards, so that's pretty good. Maybe this arty is enough. Gentlemen, what are you doing? You need to commit. Commit to the base trade or commit to the fight. That was disastrous. Gentleman just lost everything. I think Gentleman's going to get beaten 4-0. That was a terrible play. He's bringing in what reinforcements he can. It looked like Gentleman wanted to go for a base trade while the units were in the barbed wire, but then decided against it. And now Mamu is just gonna kill him. I think Gentleman could have taken that fight with the arty there and the balloon. He just needed to kill the lizards. The balloon would have picked off the boar. And he could have killed the lizards easily with the arty. And his own lizard ball. And the barbed wire. Or he could have gone for the base race. Pick off both of these bases would have been quick. And it would have forced Gentleman to, turn around. I think we've desynced. The game is so shocked that Gentleman lost. that it couldn't handle it. But Mamu, I don't think anyone was predicting a 4-0 victory for Mamu there. Wow. Well, that makes me feel less bad about losing to Mamu, and more hopeful about my games against a gentleman. Like, what was Damel's prediction for that game, for that matchup? Does anyone know? Okay, I need to update the settings. I need to update the overlay. That was a quick series. A best of 7 in 30 minutes. Yep, Mamu. GG. Congratulations. You missed your own moment of triumph, though. But luckily, it'll be on the VOD. Okay. Why is it still Premiere? Should be intermediate. There we go. Okay, we got Trumpet versus Meek. Best of 5. Don't know who's going to win this. Okay, so we got Squirrel Pigeon, Skunk Snake, Badger Balloon from Trumpet against Squirrel Mole, Ferret Ball, Mine Balloon from Meek. Surprising amount of mines today already. Mamu was running them. Maybe we've written them off too quickly. Or maybe just now that they're unexpected again, they have a chance to come into the limelight. I mean, I like watching Trumpet play because it reminds me of when I started. Like Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk, Snake, Badger with a defensive structure was basically my go-to loadout. For a very long time. That's the only time that I really mained a deck. Unfortunately, everyone, once people started realizing how much I liked Badger, they just started spamming Snake against me, and I had to change my strategy. Now, I think Trumpet should win this just based on the deck matchup. The Ferrets aren't going to do too well against the Snakes. They can do stuff against the Skunks, but not if Trumpet's on top of his Skunk micro. And the Balloon will also hold off the Trumpet, hold off the Ferrets if Trumpet ever gets them up. There, I got it. It only took me 3 attempts to say that relatively simple sentence. On the counter, Meek doesn't really have a decent badger counter. I mean, he's got balloons, and when in doubt, squirrel it out. You can always mass squirrel. That's going to be less successful when Trumpet's running skunks as well. Okay, so Meek's doing some mine clearing, or, well, that's technically mine clearing, but that gives Meek a huge tempo advantage, and once you're ahead with ferrets, it's really hard to fall back behind. So Warrens are going down quickly. The squirrels get a good surround for Trumpet and are able to push back. Oh, and Meek's commander going down means that Trumpet's probably going to be able to pick off... Oh, he picks off one ferret. He's not able to pick up the other. But he does get a few squirrels. Okay, that wasn't good for Trumpet, but he's still alive. He's still in this. He was one farm ahead. I think he needs to sell and get the skunk building. He needs to be more cautious walking into mines in the future. Meek getting this balloon up is going to be a problem. That's going to give his ferrets extra vision and range. It's going to make it really hard to counter push. Meek is trying to shut Trumpet in. Luckily Trumpet's got a map where he can expand up here and down here. So it's going to be tough to do that. That's some bad skunk micro or bad skunk pathing. It just takes 2 ferret shots and then walks into a bunch of squirrels. Balloon going down for Trumpet makes complete sense. How much vision is this giving Meek? He's going for a boar. Unless Trumpet starts getting snakes or badger out now, that boar's going to do devastating work. And Trumpet is floating enough food to get either of those things out. I'd quite like to see a badger from Trumpet. He's floating so much food. There's a badger. Some extra squirrels to go with it. Okay, Trumpet is falling behind an eco now. And Meek has a very nice setup here. He's not able to, you know, shut out Trumpet entirely, but he has got a really nice defensive area here. Trumpet can't really go around here. Meek will see it and just push in. So Trumpet kind of needs to break through this. And that's going to be difficult. Okay. So Meek did scout the badger. Trumpet has not scouted the boar. The boar is already halfway built before this badger even starts production. Trumpet's like 20 seconds behind, and behind on farms. Meek, building up a lot of squirrels, is planning for just one big push to finish it off. Trumpet needs to get in. He's not scouting. He doesn't see the boar. And this badger is still 15 seconds away. Oh, and Meek has got Trumpet in a choke point. Okay, the boar goes down, but this badger has no support. You need to move it into the Warrens. So it's got Warren to tank for it. But Meek is able to clear up. Okay, now he needs to clear the mines. Somehow. If he walks around, then his reinforcements are going to get shafted. He needs to... Okay, selling the skunks. It might have been better to sell some squirrels, but I can understand selling... Especially since the skunks were already injured. So you're not getting the full value. That badger's going to go down. Oh no, it's not. It's staying alive. Get it in the water. Oh my god, 1 health, Badger! Hide, Badger, hide! That Badger finally goes down. It probably... it did quite a lot of work, but not enough. Trumpet had an opportunity to push back in, but the defense from Meek was so strong that he wouldn't be able to push through it. Okay, so Meek's taking game 1. Okay, both players making some big changes. Squirrel Mole, Cam Snake, Wolf Balloon from Trumpet, and Squirrel Skunk Snake, Wire Balloon Artie from Meek. Okay. So Meek, I think the snakes are to counter Trumpet's Badger. Trumpet taking the chameleons instead of the skunks. I don't know what particularly he's thinking of there. They're not particularly better against balloons or wire. They would be better against boar, but just barely. Okay. This is a decent map for both players. It depends which one takes the best position, though. Who's going to be proactive here? I think this is actually going to work really badly for Trumpet. Whichever one takes a forward mill and starts getting their defenses set up is going to have a huge advantage. And it looks like it's going to be Meek. Meek might not actually need it. He's just going for Raw Squirrel as Trumpet goes for Tier 2 into expansion. This is going to be difficult for Trumpet to hold. No moles from Meek though, so these Warren tanking is going to be pretty useful, but they are going down. The mole comes out for Trumpet, and so does a chameleon. Trumpet might be able to turn this around, but he can't build any more squirrels, and that's a real problem. He needs to get some Warrens down. And this quick, easily built barbed wire is really starting to get annoying, but it's just tanking all of these chameleon and mole hits. Now Trumpet's taking some real damage. He's lost 4 Warrens and 2 farms at the moment. He's going to start losing his tier 2. This barbed wire, putting in some solid work, means the chameleons can't hit the squirrels. Trumpet's trying to push around and take Meek out of this forward position. He needs to be focus firing. But yeah, I was thinking Trumpet just fallen too far behind there to really catch up with that weaker economy. And Meek takes it up to 2-0. Are we going to get through these games? Is it going to be a clean sweep by both of the M's, Meek and Mamu? Okay. Back to basics for Trumpet, going squirrel, pigeon, skunk, snake, badger, balloon. Meek. Squirrel, pigeon, skunk, badger, fox, arty. Okay, badger, fox is already a strange combination. But with the artillery there as well, I feel like arty and badger don't really synchronize well together. They're both pretty powerful units, but the badger wants to be offensive, whereas the arty wants to be defensive. It synergizes better with the fox because it stops your opponent from doing just a big push in. So you can run out with your fox, get a couple of shots off, run back behind the arty, and it's really hard to try and push into an arty and a fox at the same time. But badger fox, I think I must be one of the only people who's tried to make that work, and it doesn't. Like, the badger and fox are both super micro intensive, as well as being two of the most fragile tier 3 units. They really rely on their ability to move. And since you can only move one unit at a time, they just don't work well together. Not unless you've got to be really on point with your micro. Like, it's just barely possible, but it's difficult. Meek selling his squirrels and going up to 6 farms immediately. Trumpet doing the same. Trumpet can't really move in, it's such a long rush distance, and Meek already has his skunks building. That 3 squirrels wouldn't be able to do much. Yeah, it didn't work when I tried to do it, but that was against Giga, who had moles and was already planning to attack. Okay, badges coming out for both players simultaneously, neither actually scouting the other. Meek gets the scout off there. Trumpet still hasn't. I'd like to see Trumpet take like this base here and start putting up balloons. He could try and shut Meek in. Meek going for a fox as well. It's a pretty well hidden fox. There's very little reason for Trumpet to move over here. Of course, if Trumpet had moles or lizards, he could pick this off if he found it quite easily, but that's usually the way it works. The better hidden a tier 3, the harder it is for you to defend. Sometimes you get a perfect tier 3 that is both really well hidden and really easy to defend, but it's pretty rare. You have to have some weird map position where it like spirals on a hill or something. Meek going for the artillery as well, getting a forward position set up. So, I mean, this is what I wanted Trumpet to do. Instead, Meek is doing it. Now, the Badger can push into this. If I was Trumpet, I'd probably just go straight in, see if I could get there before the RT builds. Unfortunately, I can't. I might be able to get there before the Badger does. Unfortunately, I can't. And that makes things difficult. Trumpet's still moving in, though. He's got all the squirrels. He's gonna get the mill. His badger's got far more micro. He could push this. He's lost his rev. Badger lost its rev, and now the fox is up for Meek. Fox is kind of a good badger counter. It's very hard for the badger to actually catch it, but the fox can do a lot of burst damage to the badger, kill it before it has a chance to really get rolling. Trumpet's doing his best, but Badger's now only one shot away from dying. He's losing a load of units on the retreat. He can't take on the revved up Badger, and Meek makes the Badger Fox work. I think that's the first time I've seen it work in tournament. Congratulations. But I have to guess Meek is one of the stronger intermediate players. And Trumpet, even though he's talented, has just begun. So that's a stream done. Those are all the games I was given in less than an hour. Unless Mochaccino wants to throw some more my way. That's it. I can't actually afford to stream like after if there are no other games. I was supposed to do 2,000 words of my dissertation by Sunday, and I have done 300. Okay, there's another series. I've been sent Suleiman versus Roman by Epicosity. I don't know if these are the games I'm supposed to do, but they're what I want to. Okay, so now I've got 2 series to do. That's fine by me. Let me just delete some of these. We got Suleiman versus Roman and Legoman versus Necromantisa. God damn it. Let's try that again. Fuck off, WinRAR. If you didn't want people to steal you, you shouldn't have been free. Okay. Let's start with the intermediate, since I've already got that overlay up. And then we'll end with the premiere. Okay, here we go. Suleiman versus Roman. Lizard, Falcon, Boar, Owl, Wolf, Machine Gun against Lizard, Ferret, Snake, Boar, Owl, Balloon. I don't think Suleiman was... I didn't think Suleiman was a big triple tier 3 guy. It seemed like a strange deck from him. Out of character. But, I mean, as far as triple tier 3 goes, it's pretty good. It's good because each of those tier 3s works well on their own, but they also synergize well with the other tier 3s. Owl Wolf especially is surprisingly strong. Just getting those mice constantly pumping out. Now, Suleiman is, I think, definitely the favourite here. Might not have been before this season started, but definitely now he's massively cranked up his skill level. Both players just starting with lizards. I'm interested to see how Roman uses a ferret snake. Those are units with kind of overlapping responsibilities. They both poke. They're both sort of not good in a straight fight. They want to hit and whittle away at your opponent's army over time. Be interesting to see if he gets both of them, or if he tries to do it with only one. It makes sense that he's got the lizards though, because they're the best, like, straight up punchy tier 1 to make up for his less straight up punchy tier 2. Now, Suleiman's coming in. The lizard's going to be able to hold. That's 1-1 going down straight away for Roman. But his reinforcements come in and clear it up. Suleiman, I mean, it's kind of a bad place for Roman to try and be defending. With this mill, his reinforcements are coming over water. He's on the low ground. But Suleiman doesn't have squirrels to really take advantage of this high ground. He's going to have to come off it to fight. Roman was trying to get up a farm there, but he was already behind in economy. He probably could have got away with it. Maybe sold a bit preemptively. But I can't blame him. I didn't expect it to go that well. He desperately needs to run away. He kind of overextended on that chase. At the moment, we're just in a lizard v lizard fight. Suleiman is ahead on army, but Roman has the mill with the farm put on it, so he's ahead in economy. Although even though this farm isn't up yet. Suleiman is now trying to expand. If he can expand and start putting machine guns on this little ridge here, he's going to be in a really good position. Now, he's going to have to push out of the machine gun's range with his lizards, but it's going to be very hard for Roman to push out and to, get out of this little corner. Roman still has a third mill to work with, but any fight down here in this area now, Suleiman wins. That basically cuts off these 3 pigs for Roman. And Suleiman has this campfire and these 3 mills to go with. So Roman, I think, will probably try and go for some sort of fast tier 3. He's got the snakes, which, can counter siege. He's trying to get the ferrets as well. Ooh. Roman actually takes down a turret. His mill is not looking great. It's alive, but it's taking a lot of damage. Of course, that's a lot of damage that his lizards aren't taking, so Roman's, well, probably not happy to take it, but willing to. Okay, Suleiman's now ecoing up on this mill. He's super committed to this position. And the ferrets have just come out. Fortunately for Roman, he doesn't have any way to get high ground vision. And his commander goes down! Oh, that's a dead mill. That's bad. And now Suleiman can try and push his machine guns even further forward. He probably won't do that now that there's ferrets. But Suleiman lost quite a few lizards to do that. And now Roman's just counter pushing. This mill's probably going to die. So both players have lost mills. I think Suleiman lost more. He was far more invested in this position and Roman wasn't this. He had more farms down and he had all the machine guns. Now Roman's quite far ahead on army. Snakes and ferrets aren't the best against lizards, but the lizard count is even, so these are actually going to work out quite well. And Roman is going to take game 1. Alright. Okay, Suleiman. Making his deck a bit more standard. Squirrel, falcon, skunk, boar, fox, wire. Roman's not changing anything. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the ferret snake actually did work out pretty well for him. I don't know if he needed both of them. He probably could have got away with just having double snakes instead of ferret snake in that last game, but ferrets are better against machine guns and static defense, and snakes are better against units, so it kind of makes sense, I suppose. So Roman just going for a 4-farm triple, which, you know, is just delaying massively because he actually doesn't have enough food to keep pumping out all these units. Suleiman's just gonna barbed wire up. Now, if Roman just gets to 5 or 6 lizards, I think he just pushes through and just gets onto the mill. He's at 6. I think he just goes straight through this barbed wire. Just run right through. Or, you know, run up to it and then walk away. Sells more lizards. Okay, now Roman's got to be very careful. Suleiman's actually going to get ahead in army here, which means Roman's susceptible to a counterattack. Especially if he loses these. He is getting a warren, so he's not, you know, leaving empty-handed, but he is 6 tier 1 behind. He's got a very... Oh, he's sold a warren. Oh, this is really bad for Roman. Suleiman's moving in with 4 times the squirrels. I mean, Roman's holding fairly well. But he has lost two farms and a warren. Suleiman just nearing double the economy as Roman is just going to keep this assault up. It's a long way to go. The road is slightly helping reinforcements, and Suleiman's going to get on the board We're not seeing a clean sweep this time. We have a series. For the first time tonight. Okay. Suleiman, returning to his Lizard Falcon, Boar Owl Wolf machine gun deck. Roman, Squirrel Skunk Owl Wolf Wire machine gun. Quite similar decks from both players. Roman a little bit more defensive. Suleiman a bit more geared towards the late game. Be interesting to see how these small differences add up. Falcon Boar instead of Skunk Wire. I think the Boar for Suleiman is going to be huge if he gets it out. Roman really doesn't have any good answer to it. Other than just throwing away squirrels until they overwhelm him. Just hurtling their nutty bodies into the fire. I need some tea. Bayern versus Leon. God damn it, it's your fucking tournament. Whatever. I mean, Bayern's gonna win. They're not gonna do a Man City and lose to Leon. Also, didn't Bayern just beat Barcelona, didn't they? And they're on a hot streak. Okay, so Suleiman is trying to find a way in, but Roman is barbed wiring up, taking a leaf out of Suleiman's book, hiding behind the barbed wire. Suleiman's just going to go right back and put down an instant owl. But so is Roman. It's an even economy, even army. Roman can actually afford to go up harder on economy, I think. With all this barbed wire, it's going to be tough for the lizards to push in. He doesn't need even numbers to hold here. He's trying to find the tier 3, but he can't. Suleiman actually hasn't got a single scout off. He hasn't scouted in at all, which is a big mistake. The owls are building for both players. Suleiman's a bit quicker. Ooh. Is Suleiman going to see this? He's not. Roman's not going to commit to it. That would have been interesting. Hide your squirrels in the corner, then try and come in. Do a base race or something. Don't think it would have worked, but it would have been interesting. Okay, owls are out for both players. Neither's scouted the other. Roman's going to need to make sure he has enough squirrels left to shoot up. He needs to kill the falcon and the owl. This barbed wire goes down pretty quickly in the face of mice. Oh, and this is going very poorly for Roman. Probably because he put down a wolf. And he sold a lot of his tier 1. So now he can't really finish off this falcon. He has got some decent damage on the owl, but the owl is just tanking for the falcon's moment. But, I mean, Suleiman needs to be careful. His flying units are going down, and if they do, then he's in trouble. This wolf is coming up. There's not going to be a huge amount for it to buff, but there's going to be another tier 3 and a handful of tier 1. That might be enough. Suleiman gets the mill. Roman's going to try and chase. He's not going to catch it. He's getting baited here. Roman is getting baited. If Suleiman turns around with his lizards, he's going to catch Roman out. Okay. The wolf is up. Roman's going to try and rebuild. Don't walk into the machine gun. That is the worst place to walk. And, oh, this was a really bad engagement by Roman. He pushes in. His squirrels weren't moving with his owl. The mice moved in to fight, while the squirrels stayed behind to shoot at the machine gun. He got his army completely separated. And Roman just gets completely overwhelmed. He was actually behind an army as well, which I didn't actually suspect. Even with the losses, I thought the double tier 2, tier 3 would have helped. And Roman doesn't even get the moral victory of killing the owl. A shame. A great shame. Okay, 2-1 to Solomon. He's on match point. Solomon sticking with his triple tier 3 loadout. Roman going for Squirrel Mole, Skunk Cam, Wolf Mine, and going for the Changing Commander. Shaking it up. Communism wasn't working out, so he's gonna go capitalist. Roman's looking for a mole. Is someone going to see this? It's not where he'd expect it to be. It's quite far out, but I don't know if this mole's going to do anything. It's not going to get here in time to get this farm. It might pick off the Warren. Maybe if Roman doubles down? If you get... If you get 6 moles, I think you can just rush the mill. Solomon still hasn't scouted this. He's getting a machine gun down. That's going to make it really hard for Roman to go straight for the mill. But maybe not impossible? Depends if Solomon keeps his lizards here. Roman is hard committing to this mole push. The machine gun's been sold. Solomon still hasn't scouted this. A 4th mole warren is going down. Solomon is so scared, like he wants to move out. He finally does. As soon as Roman gets the alert, he sees lizards on the minimap. I imagine he's going to push in. He could probably do it now. Oh, this is smart by Solomon, taking another base. And here he goes. Roman's moving in. Solomon is nowhere near. And this base is going to go down so quickly. This base is never getting up. And that Roman with the hard commit. 6 farms. 5 mole warrens. Just, Solomon never scouted it. That was ridiculous. It should not have worked, but it did. And Roman takes the game. Suleiman's going to feel pretty silly about that. You could see the... I love it when you can see the emotion through the screen. Like, Suleiman's confusion was palpable. The way he was just standing on his base and then running around all over the place at Roman's trying to find it. Trying to find anything. There were no tier 1 warrens, no farms, no extra meal, nothing. So we're down to the match point. Suleiman going Squirrel Falcon, Skunk Boar, Fox Wire. And Roman going Squirrel Mole, Skunk Cam, Wolf Mine. So Roman sticking with the same deck. I don't think the mole trick is going to work twice. But hey, you never know. I think if Suleiman falls for it again, he's... You know, that's something that we should make sure he never lives down. But I don't think it will. Roman is looking for a place to put down a mole. He might get a farm here. Suleiman is going to come over here, see the absentee farms, and very panically burrow back. He gets half a cell and a complete cell. Oh, and Roman going back for the mole. Suleiman scouts it. Roman doesn't sell. Suleiman has a warren down. He loses one farm, but Roman loses a mole trying to get the second. Roman should have plenty of time to get his own army up, so I don't think we've got to worry about a counterattack. It's quite a long way for Suleiman to come. Okay, so after all that, Roman actually ends up ahead in economy. Suleiman hasn't taken this 8th farm. He's only just putting it down now, after he started taking a mill, which is rare, but occasionally happens. Okay. Roman going for some chameleons, Suleiman going for some skunks. Roman also planning a mole push while the commander's dead. If he goes straight in, he could get some real damage done. Suleiman's commander comes up just in time, but he sells the skunk warren. It was too far forward, and his units have to retreat through all this water, taking huge amounts of damage. Now Roman's coming in. He's the one in the water now. It's a disadvantageous position, but he's got such good tempo. He gets some real damage done. He's got his tier 2 coming. The chameleon gets stuck on the barbed wire again. He's got one farm. He's got a second. His commander goes down, but he's killing... Oh, he doesn't quite get the 3rd farm. He does get the 3rd farm. And now these squirrels are all going to die. But Roman's probably pretty okay with that. He got a lot of damage done. This is a tough map for Suleiman, thinking about it. At least against this sort of aggressive play. Okay. Suleiman is kind of holding, but he needs to do more than just hold. He's so far behind. This is looking really good for Roman. But Suleiman, I mean... Trying to expand up here made sense, but it was very risky. This water makes it really hard for him to resupply. It might have been better for him to get tier 2 out first and then start expanding. Because now, Roman just keeps up with the small pressure. Solomon tries to push through the water again in an act of desperation, and I think this is going to be GG. Roman takes it in a bit of an upset. But frankly, for the crazy mole play he did last game, I think he deserves it. Getting that good map gen, that's karma. Karma for playing ballsy with the moles. Okay. You're only lost in the tourney so far. Is that? Yeah, okay. Alright, so we got Lego versus Necro. Let's see who's going to win this. We got Lizard Toad, Falcon Cam, Boar Wire against Squirrel Pigeon, Falcon Skunk, Snake Wolf. I know Lego Man's really been liking his snakes recently. It's surprising to see Lego Man not running barbed wire, because he was the one who... He ran barbed wire before anyone else. He ran barbed wire back when it cost 20. He was literally the only person in the world who ran barbed wire, like as one of his main units. You could reliably expect barbed wire coming out from him. Dead serious. Only person in the world. No one else did it. So it's interesting that he dropped it now that it's actually good. Also interesting from Necro is the Lizard Toad combination. It's not a combination you see often. Did I spell his name right? Necromanticer. Necromanticer. Okay. So, Lego Man going up for squirrels. Necro going for lizards. Lego Man taking the first expansion. Lego's warrens are quite precariously placed here. They're not within range of his pigs, so if Necro were to do a mole push, then this would be quite bad, but lizards aren't that good fighting over warrens, so Lego Man's going to get away with it. Ooh, maybe not. He got caught outside the warrens. A lot of lizards, a lot of squirrels got picked off. He is going to hold, but he took a lot of damage there. Luckily, the warrens tanked quite a fair bit of damage. Oh, and Trumpet, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, bud. Bad luck on your games, but it literally happens to all of us. It happened to gentlemen, so it can happen to you. Or 195, 196. I've got to think of something to do at 200. I think at 200 I'll try and do a Tooth and Tail speed run. Just need to figure out how to set that. How to get one of those follower goal bars set up. That shouldn't be too hard. I'll also see if I can actually get my emotes to work. My shitty emotes. How do you do a ranked speedrun? Get to 1,000? I can't do that anyway. Okay. Legoman coming in with his snakes. Getting out quite a bit of damage. 2 barbed wires and a warren. He might have got a bit overeager here. The lizard's coming in. But the toads, and this is why you don't see lizard toad too often. The toads trail very far behind. Don't get in until most of the lizards are already dead. It's also just not a good matchup for toads here. These squirrel snakes are pretty good at picking off the toads before they make contact. Any one poison stack kills a toad and slows it down. The squirrels are good at just kiting them. I mean, the fact that you have to kite the toads does mean the lizards have an easier job catching up. But the lizards are half dead before they actually get there, because they have to wait for the toads. So Legoman just takes a lot of really effective trades and takes game 1. Nice and simple. Okay, Necro going for a bit of a more sensible loadout. Squirrel, pigeon, mole, falcon, badger, wire. Legoman staying with the same. I think if you've just lost a game to snakes, it's quite weird for you to try and go badger. Like, possibly the unit in the game that gets most hard countered by snakes. Oh damn. Hit my mute button. I couldn't unmute it. Okay, so badger against snakes is going to be tricky to make work. But maybe it never gets to that. Necro always has the option of just going for a squirrel mole push, if you can find the right timing. Maybe he manages to hide the badger so that Legoman never counters with snakes. I don't think Legoman... I mean, Legoman likes his snakes. I think he's going to run snakes no matter whether he sees a badger or not. Okay, so both players expanding, going up to 3 farms, getting some tier 2 out as well. Legoman not supply blocks because he's going lighter on the tier 1. Now that Necro has got this defensive line set up, I'd like to see him sell maybe a Squirrel Warren and just go super hard into farms. I was going to say there's a path up here, but there's not. You can see on the mini-map that it's blocked off. So this is the only way in, right here. Necro has this extra mill to work with. He's also got a cabin here that he could... he doesn't need to move his army back. He can just put down a couple of moles here and destroy that. I'd worry about... This mill is going to be difficult because Legoman can get up onto this high ground pretty easily. And Legoman, even if Necro just stays in here, Legoman's got 2 bases to work with, 3, because it's so hard for Necro to attack this high ground. So Necro really wants to take this mill and put his barbed wire down across this road. That'll get him a 4th mill to work with, which will basically use 3. I don't know if Legoman snakes can reach this mill from here, but it's not really something you'd want to find out the hard way. Now, Necro is going for a badger. Legoman has got his snakes out. He's going for 4 skunks. He's also going for some falcons. How much has Necro scouted? It's been a while. There's a lot of tier 2 down that he hasn't seen. This barbed wire seems wasteful. There is actually a way through here, through this water, but Legoman's never going to take that. Like, that's suicide. This narrow passageway where you're super slow and you can't fight back is disastrous. Legoman does scout the badger. He's going to move in. He's going to find it hard to get through all this barbed wire. No. And this is not looking too bad for Necro if he can get this badger out. Since the badger buff, 2 snakes is not enough to reliably kill a badger, especially with some decent pigeons or a high number of tier 1. And one of the snakes actually goes down. Legoman is getting a 2nd snake warren up, but they're not going to be out in time. Okay, now this barbed wire starts to become a hindrance for Necro. Since it means that he has to walk through the skunk gas, spend extra time in it. He has secured this 3rd base, so he can start putting farms on there. He's not going to get, shut out. He is picking off the snakes. I didn't expect this corner to be such a action point. I feel like this is definitely in Legoman's favour at the moment, even though he's behind on army and economy. Okay, Necro wants to come in. He's going to get the mill. How much? This badger gets tagged twice with the snakes. All his squirrels are going down thanks to the skunk gas. There's still a load of falcons and snakes up. The poison wears off, but it's being tagged again. He needs this badger healing. He's moving it forward before the poison wears off. The poison count restarts, and the badger goes down. Necro sells a badger. It's a good call. Legoman is looking hard pressed to supply his army, but these skunks are just doing so much damage to this tier 1. If Necro can just clear up the squirrels and the snake, he can go through all these pigeons and skunks with his 1 falcon. And he surrenders. He was 4 farms ahead. He was under a lot of pressure. I don't think he knew how far ahead he was on economy. Because Legoman was starting to dry up. I think it would have been worth playing that the extra minute just to see what happens, but is what it is. Legoman takes it 2-0. Well, goes up to 2-0. He needs to get to 4-0 before he takes it. He could have another sweep. Okay. Squirrel, lizard, falcon, skunk, boar, wire. Necro cutting the badger, bringing in the boar, and bringing in the lizards, which makes sense when Legoman likes to run so much tier 2. I don't really know who Necromanticer is. I know he's been around for a long time, but I've never really talked to him or interacted much with him. Just kind of run into him occasionally. He's a bit of an enigma as far as I'm concerned. Okay. So let's look at the map here. I think it's definitely probably Lego favoured. The 2 attack routes are easier for him than they are for Necro. Necro is going to be on the low ground if Legoman attacks him this way. And he's not quite going to be on the low ground from here. Legoman can't reach from here. But it is going to be harder for Necro to push up this hill than for Legoman to push down it. At least until Falcons come in and start giving high ground vision. Okay, both players going for tier 1 and skunks. Necro having his 9th farm down. It's going to put him slightly behind on the tier 2 count, but probably not by enough to matter. Maybe enough to matter. He's nearly a full 20 seconds behind. But Legoman is now supply blocked, so Necro is going to have some time to catch up. And 1 skunk typically isn't enough. But Necro is bleeding off a lot of units here, just as a squirrel harass. Okay, now there's a skunk up for both sides. The pigeons will probably tip this in Lego's favour though, if it goes to a skunk v skunk fight. Okay. Necro is holding on 1 farm advantage. Lego taking a 3rd mill just to get some forward positioning. I'm not really sure what he plans to do on it. Oh, nice skunk pick off. I mean, I guess this is easier for him to, like, replenish his units. Actually, with the snakes coming out, that might actually matter that Legoman has the extra territory, because the snake healing, the snake regen is really fast, so getting that bonus healing as fast as you can could matter a lot. And now here comes a snake harass. The barbed wire isn't far forward enough for it to really help Necro. I feel like this barbed wire is hurting Necro more than it's helping at this point, because it's just slowing down his unit so much. I think he agrees with me as he sells it. He's floating a lot of food as well. Slams down some tier 1. He's probably going to lose this mill though as he goes back to do it. Is that mill going to die? No, stays up. Just about, but now Necro really needs to hold in front of the mill. He can't afford to hold behind it anymore. Necro is kind of all in on this mill. If he loses it, he's not going to be able to come back. And he's steadily dribbling away units to this snake poke. Legoman's been really good at using his snakes effectively. with 4 skunk. Necro's really heavily into tier 1 to try and counter this snake poke, but with 4 skunks, so Lego Man can hold against so much tier 1. Okay, here he comes. This is Necro's push in. He's not quite managed to get the skunks. He got one of them, but he's forced to retreat. He lost a lot more. These pigeons actually getting quite a lot of value for Lego Man, just keeping Necro's units up, and Necro's commander goes down. One of the worst things to happen when you're fighting snakes is for your commander to die, and all of Necro's units get stuck hitting the mill while they just get cleared up. And Lego Man is now on 3-0. He just needs one more game to win the whole thing. Can Necro make a comeback? Squirrel Lizard, Falcon Boar, Mine Balloon. Lego Man not changing a thing. Necromancer, yeah. Necro pinning his tournament hopes on the boar. And the mines. We've had the mines make some big plays. They worked for Meek, they worked for Marmu. Will they work for Necro? Premier League does have some scary people in it. Like, I still think I'm probably the weakest in there at the moment, but I still think I could, like, I'm not out of it against any of the players. There's pretty much always a chance for every Premier player to beat any other Premier player. Even me. Okay, Necro's selling that mill. That's what it's called. It's called a mill. Well, we'll see. Okay, Necro taking the campfire. He's not taking the mill again. Just both players tier 1ing it up. Fairly even map. Necro's got 2 expands he can take pretty easily. Lego's got 2 expands he can take pretty easily. These 2 expansions are... they're more Lego Man's, but they're not really anyone's. If Lego Man pushes out to this cabin though, takes that, he can secure both these mills and this campfire. So I think this is very slightly Lego favoured, but not hugely. Maybe like a 60-40 split in Lego's favour. Maybe even less, maybe like 55-45. Okay, Necro putting down a balloon. Will be good at sniping off tier 2. Is Lego going to scout these mines? No, not yet. Not at all. I don't think these mines are going to do much, but they're there. Oh, and Lego Man's commander goes down this time. If Necro can just focus fire all the squirrels down, which he starts doing, then the balloon is going to do some real value. Necro is looking pretty good economically. I had my doubts about that balloon, but it ended up working. No, it's 3-0. It's 3-0, Lego Man. Necro hasn't won one yet. You came in on the second game, QQ. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it's definitely 3-0 for Lego Man. Okay, we got the ball coming out for Necro. Lego Man going up to a lot of tier 2. Both players a little bit lacking on their scouting. All this tier 2 is going to be quite useful against the boar. Boar doesn't like fighting tier 2. To the point where Necro should actually consider selling this boar. He's not going to. He's just going to put down his own falcons. Necro is still economically in the lead by a decent margin. He's got a good defense. He's ahead in army, but that's largely because of his mines and balloons. It's not going to be like that if it comes to a fight out on Lego Man's base. The boar is up. I don't think Lego Man did manage to scout it, but I think only at the end. But he's basically picked the right option anyway, going heavily into skunks to clear up the tier 1 and falcons to clear up the boar with a couple of snakes added in. Necro's thinking about pushing. His commander's probably going to die here. No. Forget how tanky commanders are at this stage in the game. Necro really going hard on economy. He's already 5, 6 farms ahead of Lego Man. It's going up to 7 now. Lego Man's gonna have to move in, or at least, secure another base. Lego's trying to force a fight away from these defensive structures. I don't know if Lego Man's actually scouted the mines. Even if he has, he can't clear them now. He can't just stand his commander up there and get the, the vision reveal. So we could be seeing mines get another play of the game. I think the real problem is just the economy for Necro has just been out of control this entire game. This cabin has really helped with that. Just having an easy extra farm. Lego Man trying to take down what mines he can, but he's kind of just... The mines kind of just tanked. They let Necro come in at the side. And there's so many balloons that are really spread out, which normally I wouldn't recommend, but Necro's ahead enough that he can afford it. Now he has sort of boxed himself in. I think Necro was... Oh, a snake goes down to the mines there, trying to get that balloon. I think Necro wanted to sort of get his balloons more diagonal so he could try and take this base. Because now he's shut himself on these 3 bases. He's got 5 minutes until this farm fallows out, and then he's got nothing. Whereas Lego Man has 3 farms to go here, he has a campfire here, and he has these 2 bases. naked. So Lego needs to just hold on. He's finally overtaken Necro in economy. The problem is army. Necro might be able to push in, but it's difficult to say because he's got 200 in mines and then an extra 800, 960 in balloons. So over 1,000 of Necromancer's army value is in defensive structures, which means it's going to be quite hard for him to move out. Maybe not impossible. I think he'd still have the better army. Looking at the graph. He's getting a bit of damage done here. He only picked off 1 Warren though. He lost 9 lizards, so not completely worse. Maybe Necro is going to sell these back defenses and just start trying to creep up here. Legoman has got his wolf coming. So now he can buff up his economy. He can get even further ahead on eco. Necro needs to do something soon. He's trying to do this lizard run around, and he is picking off tier 2 warrens, which, you know, isn't nothing. Those things are expensive, but as long as the units are up, that's going to affect Legoman's ability to resupply, but not actually his ability to fight. Okay, Necro's coming in, while the army's on the wrong side of the field. And he quickly picks off that mill. Legoman's army is very spread out at the moment. Some of his units are wolf buff, some aren't. Here we come to it. If Legoman survives this, he wins. But it's looking difficult. This board's tanking so much. And there's still a lot of falcons left. Okay. Necro has lost his tier 3. Lego still has his. But he's losing so many warrens, he can't resupply. And there's so many falcons up in the air for Necro. He takes it with a supreme falcon ball. And he gets on the board. The comeback begins. That was game 4, we're on game 5. Okay. Here we go. Squirrel Lizard, Falcon Boar, Wire Balloon against Squirrel Lizard, Mole Ferret, Skunk Balloon. Legoman ditching his tier 3 and ditching his snakes. This is a very different deck from Legoman. Now the moles might catch Necro off guard. He hasn't seen them so far. This is a very aggressive mole warren though. It's not hidden at all, it's right next to the farms. He just forces a sell, doesn't even get the barbed wire. Although maybe it did because Necro sold it for 0. Either way, that was going to be like 1 or 2 food, so pretty much irrelevant. Legoman committing to this mole push, maybe longer than he should. He's going for the warren. Okay. Is he going to put down another mole? He is. He's going to keep on trying to force down these warrens. Now he's going for the pig. I think Legoman is being really indecisive here with what he wants to focus down. He either needed to focus fire the warren or focus fire the pig, but he keeps swapping between them and he ends up with neither. I don't know if Lego Man really lost anything there, but he's definitely behind in tempo. He's trying to get his own squirrels up. He's got the 3 moles, so that's something. He's got something to tank hits. Lego Man was actually up a farm the whole time. He had his 5th farm down, I guess. I think Necro wasn't expecting this sort of aggressive plays from Lego Man. It's not what he's known for. But, you know, mixing it up is good. Oh, and Lego Man going for the ferrets. Now, this is not a terrible ferret map. The road is going to make it decent for the ferrets to move in and out. It's not great. It's a neutral ferret map. How about that? Except for one fact that Necro is probably going to have to expand towards Lego Man. Like, if Necro tries to go for this mill, then Lego can easily hit from his own base. Possibly even hit from this high ground, at least on the corner farm. Now Necro is going to have a base here and a base here he could expand to. I think this one is definitely the safer option. There's balloons coming up early. Almost like Lego Man's going to try and focus the ferret. Oh, he needs to make sure he doesn't lose his commander. He wanted to focus fire that balloon down. He might get it. He does get it. This is looking really bad for Necro. Well, you say don't double down on moles, but I think we remember a game where you were involved and Roman did double down on moles, and it ended quite badly for you. Just saying. Just putting it out there. Solomon. Okay. Necro's managed to get up a decent squirrel count. These ferrets are not shooting anything. Like, the units they're shooting at die before the shells reach them. And now Lego Man's getting pushed back. Oh, Lego Man's suiciding his ferrets to get 1 farm. That's 120 food for 60. That's not a profit. And now he's supply blocked. He can't get back to sell. He can't get back to sell because he needs to hold this position. He can't leave it, but I don't think he's going to hold it. He can't hold it because he's got so much food wrapped up in the ferret warren that's not doing anything. He's trying to get back and hold his main base, but this ferret warren's probably going to go down. No, Necro's swapping to the pigs. He's not scared of the ferrets, and there's no reason why he should be. Okay. So it's 2 farms to 3. Doesn't sound like much, but that's a 33% advantage for Necro. Lego Man sells the ferret. He doesn't get to sell it for the whole value, but he needs to sell it. He needs whatever he can get now. He's so far behind on army. He's trying to get some moles up, just because they're tanky and they build quickly. It's not enough for Lego Man to just hold at this point, though. He needs to actually start winning. Because if If Necro's ahead on economy and he just keeps trading evenly, he will win the game. But if Necro keeps running in, then maybe with defender's advantage, Lego can eke out enough value to actually pull back ahead. Maybe. Very slightly, maybe. The farms don't have long left. There's actually longer on Lego's farms than there are on Necro's. Necro does have this corner farm that was killed earlier, so Necro isn't going to starve. Ooh. Lego Man comes around and is going to go for the cabin. I mean, that makes sense. Get a campfire, so you don't have to... You get the food without having to put in the extra 60 for the meal. Necro should know about this because you can, for some reason, hear the cabin exploding from anywhere on the map. Now, this is nearly a fresh farm. This is going to give Necro like 4 minutes. Ooh, and Necro's going to come around and he's going to pick off the cabin. Lego Man, I think, just goes in. I think that would be his best option. Go for the base race, but he delayed. He burrowed back first. He was here. He needed to just rally all. Can Lego Man clear up these squirrels? No. Necro is up to 2. He's holding on by the tips of his fingernails. Okay. Squirrel, mole, falcon, skunk, wolf, wire. And Lego Man sticking with this aggressive loadout. Squirrel, lizard, mole, ferret, skunk, snake. I think you've also lost a lot of games by doing that mocker. Like, that's a pretty all-in play. Because if you lose the attack, you don't have any way to put down a farm. Not without selling your army completely. Like, I've seen you starve a fair amount of times, Mocker. More than most players, I want to say. I mean, don't have the stats on me to back that up, but I feel like I definitely see you starve more often than other players. I mean, you had that game on last week's Feast where you tied with Gentlemen because both of you starved out at the same time. Okay, very forward warrens from Lego Man here. I mean, they won't be forward when he secures one of these mills, but it's a bit risky if Necro was going to do a squirrel push. Necro has been playing pretty defensively, though, for most of these games. This is no different. He's set up barbed wire, which he probably doesn't need. Right, hang on. Let me check what he's seen. He's seen the forward Warrens. Double tier 2. I wonder why he thinks he needs a barbed wire. Since barbed wire builds so quickly and is so cheap, I think it's generally wise to not build it until you know you need it. Okay, this snake is just standing in the water, taking the barbed wire hits, but it's working. And now this barbed wire is going to go down. Or not. Legoman's trying to get it. This is a good time for Necro to fight while Legoman's units are crossing the water. Okay, so after that, Legoman gets 10 food value. Not exactly game deciding. I mean, maybe it would be. An extra 10 food last game would have made a big difference. Could have made a big difference. Probably wouldn't actually, because you need at least 20 to get another tier 1 unit. Okay, that skunk is dead. But so is the snake. All of Lego's tier 1 goes down. Oh, and so did both commanders. But the falcon is in range of the snake, and the snake is in range of the falcon. Which means Legoman wins that fight quite handily. Necro's recommitting. His commander goes down again. And this is looking bad for Necro. This is match point here. I feel like that second push was a... I mean, the army graph says that he was ahead, but I don't think he was ahead by enough where he could have reliably pushed. Especially because Necro's composition is actually getting really shafted by the lizards. The Skunk Falcon combo struggles to deal with lizards. And now Legoman has got ferrets and snakes up. He's going to be super good at poking. And with this water in the way, it's going to be quite hard for Necro to actually counter-attack. Like, it's going to give Legoman a lot of time to retreat. So, Necro needs to find an alternate route. But the only alternate route is to come all the way around here. Which is hell for his reinforcements and basically guarantees that this mill will die. Oh, I think Necro needed to turn around and take that fight there. He lost a lot of units running through the water. This is just... Legoman's just taking better and better trades. Although, all of his tier 2... Most of his tier 2 goes down. This skunk is only on 3 health. But it is healing. There are still the ferrets up, and they can hit this mill basically with impunity. Necro really needs to sell some Warrens. Really needs to sell some Warrens, but he's not. He's just... Like, he's got 2 tier 2 Warrens that aren't building anything. And that's GG. Legoman does it. He bleeds Necro dry. Well, it's easy to lose your commander against snakes and against lizards. They do a lot of damage. But I think the constant retreat through that water really hurt Necro. That water was so much in Legoman's favour. Really suited what he wanted to do. And Necro couldn't use his barbed wire because it was on the wrong side of the river. But that's GG. Right, now, is anyone else streaming? If there is, I can hit them with a follow. No, not a follow. Like a raid. but the only person I can see streaming is Germa, Games Done Quick, Small Ant. All great channels, but not particularly related to Tooth and Tail. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the stream there and do some of my own League games off stream for once, where hopefully I will be able to not lose. Kerper went live. Oh, I'm not following Kerper. Hang on, let me see if I can find Kerper. Okay. Here we go. Why is it saying NA? When I want to... Okay, maybe if I just follow him first. And then I can do it. I don't know if this is going to work. For some reason it says NA, but it's his logo. So, okay, it says Kerper 100 there. Alright, guys, I will see you around. Have fun. Toodles.